Good morning, everybody. So it's Trussell Sunday again. I brought it inside again because I have a dog and the garden was a little bit untidy in his number 2 deliveries. So it was a little bit nasty out there. It's a shame because the birds are singing and the sun is beginning to shine. However, it's just as nice inside. So just let's take a moment to come down into our mat. You can lie down on your mat. You can stand up if you prefer, sit, and just take a minute. Into the breath, feel the breath from the tip of the nose all the way down to the belly. Feel your sit bones down into the floor. And just bring it into you. Notice how you're feeling right now. Is there anything we can intend to let go of today? I've got a little bit of irritation. I want to do my practice out in the garden. What is it? It's a little bit pooey out there. So that wasn't happening today. So I brought it back inside. But I love being outdoors. But that's fine. I will just accept that today it's on the inside. And that is sort of a bit of a metaphor for me coming into the inside of myself. So taking this time, this opportunity to be with yourself, to set intention of what you want your practice to achieve. Sundays should always be a little bit slower. I say should, I don't know. Perhaps be a little bit slower. Had a busy week. Just allows you time to come back, to realize where you're up to. Just feeling that breath, inhale and exhale. Allowing it just to recenter, refocus the mind, give us awareness into how we're feeling. Ooh, and let's take a deep inhale. Coming back when you're ready. Arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, just push the heel of the hand away. My shoulders are a little sore, my neck feels a little tight today, so just give that a little bit of release out. Be careful of reaching too high. Don't want to reach too far away. It's not possible to reach the sun, the stars or the moon. Let's take this into lateral stretches. Just take it on a side to side. Just feeling that little bit of release. Letting go on the side of the body. And just let this find its way, find its path. And I used to do a lot of alignment-based work, but to be honest with you, finding where your body is comfortable and finding your own self-adjustment is actually more valuable. Although it feels nice to be adjusted. Just find your path. It doesn't have to be straight. This can start to come down in front of you. Little circles. And just finding that space to open up the body so that the breath can be deeper. Just can hang out for a while on the side. Just keeping both sit bones into the floor. Gaze point. Let's just take a few neck releases, just side to side. Notice how that feels. Where are you pushing and pulling? Where does the body feel it can yield? Less is more. Sometimes we're too forceful. That can stay in a gaze point up, or it can stay neutral. I'm just getting a little bit of cramping going on in my mid-back, so I'm just going to open and close that a little larger. Just to feel that. Getting a push on my left shoulder probably. And actually let's rest that down on the diagonal. Just bring that into a little bit of a low back release. Yes, and no with the head. Just finding, or letting go of any tension. And just walk the hands a little bit further on the diagonal. And just let that come down. Releasing out the back. Shoulders. I'm reaching a little bit. I'm going to come back so it's not as tough. Bring that into the center. A little bit cat-cow here just to release out anything into the back. And soften that down. Forward fold. Doesn't have to be deep, not to start with. Make sure we're in a comfortable place. Just move that back a little bit. Comfortable space. So open up your hips a little bit. You can rest onto the elbows. You can rest your forehead down. Or you can be up onto the hands. It really doesn't matter. Whatever is working for your hips and your back. And just come back to the breath, let that breathe. And then slowly bring that back up, just slide the hands back in. Ooh, little circles here around the hips. Just notice which leg you have crossed in the front. And we're going to change the cross in a minute, but just circle that out a little bit. Just release out anything that's gripping. And then hug the knees. Remember which leg you have in front. Just hug the knees, cosmic egg hug. Just let that simmer out a little bit. And then change the cross, the opposite leg in front. Deep inhale, arms overhead. Interlace the fingers the opposite way. If you can remember, don't worry if you can't, it's not a problem. Just release out, push the heel of the hand up to the ceiling, but don't reach too far. We don't want those shoulders right up by the ears. Engage the stomach a little bit just to protect and support. Neck, make sure you're not tensing too much in the neck. And then we'll release that into side to side. So repeat on the other side. Feeling a little bit better already for myself. Then we can just hang out here a little bit. Notice if you want to do some circles again. That's a little tight. Just bring that into the circles. And again, you can open and close that. You can drop the arm down. Find your path. Find what your body is asking you to find. Make that inquiry. Let's release the neck out. Just take a few side to side movements with the head. And you can look up, forwards, or down to the shoulder. Just let that open up. Find the breath. Let it breathe. Feeling this in a totally different place on this side. And then allowing that shoulder to drop forward and back open just a couple of times. Just to open up the thoracic junctions. Thoracic into lumbar, upper to lower back. And then let that settle down. Ooh, that's tight for me. And just move the hands over to a diagonal stretch and come back to the breath and let that soften down. And just feel that tension easing out of the body. Use the breath. The inhale fills the body up. The exhale lets go. Left side generally always tighter. If you're a right-handed person. And then take a walk into the center. Again, you might just want to find a little bit of release. Shoulders, a little bit of rocking across the pelvis. And then allow that to come down to your forward fold. Just as comfortable as you need to be. It can be on the elbows, it can be up on the hands, forehead can rest down. Just finding that comfort and then the breath. And once you find the comfort, the body will yield more for you. If we force it, it will then fight against you. Just letting that open the back. Slowly bring that back up. and find those circles. Just releasing out, letting go. I just find this quite hypnotic, really soothing. Find me rocking in the corner. Makes me chuckle. And then just draw those knees up, hug. Just feel a little better. Just slide the legs forward. Give your knees a little release out. Especially a cross leg position might be a bit tight on the knees. So just give them a little release and circle your feet. And just let those have a little release into the ankle. Point and flex. Again, not don't do too tight. Just let it be fluid. Good. Matt walks on the carpet. And again, just give that little release out. Just to feel those tensions easing out. A little bit of cat-cow position just to release again the back. This can be done with bent knees. You could just rock over the pelvis. You can hold the knees, you can have the hands behind. Just finding that little bit of release, whatever's comfortable for you. Little circles here. Careful if you sit bones, a little bony. Just taking out a little moment. Let's do some shoulders, just circle out the shoulders. And just lift and drop, lift and drop. Come back to a cross-leg position again, noticing which leg is in the front, whichever one you favour. Just drop the head side to side. Just releasing out. My shoulders need a little bit of release today. So just dropping it side to side, then leave the head whichever side you favour. Let the shoulders just rest down. And just reach the opposite hand away. Not too far. Make sure we're not reaching too far away. And you'll just feel this release down the side of your neck. Just let that breathe. Notice if you're pushing your chin too far forward, let it settle back. Let it just release a little deeper if it wants to. And just turn the palm up, bring it up to shoulder height. And then return the arm all the way up, circle it in front of you, and it just drop down. Bring the head back up, and just do a few little releasing circles. Undo and just circle out the shoulder. Couple forward, couple back. Couple of shrugs, lift and drop. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. And just sit for a moment. Just notice the difference that you can feel on this side as opposed to this side. This side feels tingly, more alive. Don't worry if you can't feel those sensations, it's really not a problem. And then back. Actually, let's just do some neck circles. Just drop the chin down, roll the chin side to side. This can be done in a chair if you don't like sitting on the floor for too long. Just look across the shoulder, side to side, and then up and down. And then we'll come back to the side to side, ear to the shoulder. You'll notice one side feels a lot looser, the side you've already done. And then leave the ear towards the shoulder. Don't drop it down, try not to drop into the waist. And then take the opposite hand to the side. Just reach it away a little bit. Check into the breath. Just allow that a moment. to ease the tension. Notice where you're gripping. Is there a push and a pull? Are you trying to reach too far? And as you start to feel it ease off, let the hand come up a little higher. Shoulder lines are a lot tighter. And again, once you feel it easing off, it's a bit like a sigh, it's a bit like a ah. And the hand up, turn the palm up. Ooh. So that, find its letting go phase. Just let that hang there a moment. Suspended, it's a little bit of suspension going on here. And then let that continue all the way up, over the top. Let it draw down in front of you. And just do a couple of circles. It's a bit clunky. Just notice where the clunks are happening and if we can change how we move it. And just bring that head back up. Circle out that shoulder. Couple both ways. Always favour one way, forward or back. And lift and shrug. Just let it drop. Oh, and a couple of neck circles. The yeses. Lovely. Both arms just come all the way up. Interlace again, push the heel of the hand away, bend the elbows this time, and very gently ease the shoulders back. Notice where the tension is, just very gently. A little bit of pressure, you can pull slightly on the fingers, not too much. Mine are a bit quivery here. Just check the neck. Releases on the neck, and just push the heel of the hand away again. Bring the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers behind the back. Notice which thumb you're cradling. Squeeze into the back of the shoulder blade and just open the chest. Keep the heel of the hand squeezing in, keep the elbows slightly soft and bent, and just release the hands further away from the back. Try not to push the elbow too straight. Check into the neck and just breathe, opening up into your pecs across the chest here. Just letting that find again its release. What is happening where? Notice where you're holding too tight. Mine's on my right hip flexor. Neck, just make sure it's a little loose. I'm not pushing the chin at all. And then just release that. Give it a little circle. And if you've got your right thumb, bring your wrist to your left waist. And just hold. You can unclasp the fingers if it's uncomfortable. And just drop the ear to the shoulder. And just allow that to open now down the deltoid, a little bit down the top of the shoulder. Down the arm. And up to the trap, the side of the neck. When you feel that easing, when you feel it letting go, it'll go a little deeper for you. And slowly drop the chin in, circle it down, bring it back up and back to center. Undo the hands, just circle out. I'm going to release my hip flexors out a little bit, just give them a little flip, a little bit of a release. Just going to do a reverse tabletop and just let my hips have a little bit of a breather. So just drop the knee side to side. Reverse tabletop, just open up the chest, push the hips up, just allow that to breathe into counter pose. If you need movement, that obviously can come up and down, a little bit of wiggle. And let that come down. See that a hug, counter pose over the back. And then come back to the opposite cross in your legs. Important that we take alternate cross in the leg. Always remember which your favourite one is, and then you'll be able to swap it through. Can't remember how we started now. So let's just take a deep inhale. Interlace the fingers the opposite way. Push the heel of the hand. Bend the elbows. Just very gently push back. Make sure that it feels a bit better this time. Notice where the tension is showing itself. And then push them back up. Release the hands, interlace them behind your back the opposite way. So notice which thumb, the opposite thumb needs to cradle this time. Squeeze into the shoulders. Gently release the hands behind your back or off your back. And just let that breathe. Notice the neck. And just releasing along the front of the chest. And then we're going to bring, I've got my left thumb into my right waist. Just cradle the hand into the right waist and let the ear drop towards the shoulder. Taking it into the breath, just feeling that. You'll feel that down through the shoulder, side of the neck. Just letting that soften out. When you feel the release, when you feel it easing and letting go, then it can go a little deeper. Just letting go all the tensions. Notice the breath, always come back to the breath, use that breath to help the release. And slowly drop that chin down in front. Couple of circles. Undo the hands. Oh, give yourself a little circle, maybe a little shrug. That feels better on both sides now. Let's release out the hips just a little bit now. So just rolling side to side. Ooh, I'm going to do a hip section in a minute. I won't do it on the same tape. And the reverse push up, just finding that little bit of extension. Making sure the neck isn't pushing, pulling, dropping too low. And just drop that down. yourself a hug. And then just slowly roll that down onto your back. Again, just let this release the hips out. Just let them have a little bit of time out. And just come into a little restorative bridge, arms overhead. Very gently push the hips up. And just allow that to breathe. Make sure your neck isn't tense. Not reaching too high. Check into where you're feeling tension. Over squeeze the glutes, your knees will drop open. Make sure the weight's on the heel. And then just drop that down. Let the arms come down. And just give yourself a hug. Let the arms wrap over, drop the knees open, let the hips just relax open. Check which arm you've got on the top. Just have a little hug. If you want to deepen that, just take that into eagle arm. And just let that open the back of the body. Check the neck is free. I think the hug's nice. Give yourself a hug. And just follow that breath. And then undo the arms. Just give that a big circle or release up to the ceiling. Give it a couple of zombie releases. And just move the arms up and down a little bit. And then hug the opposite way. So you should always notice which arm you had on the top. And then change it over. Your mind gets confused when we do a crossover. So that breathe again, that can go to eagle arm. Or you can do a combination like me. Take that into eagle, let that breathe. And then back to the hug. Tell yourself you love yourself. Give yourself that love back to yourself. And just undo the arms, give them a little zombie release, just drop into either alternate or one at a time. You just hear the voice, it's beginning to release out any tension that goes to the diaphragm. So just letting go of any tension that you need to. And just move the arms up and down a little bit. Into Don't Shoot Me. So it's the or cactus arms, some people call them. Just release that into cactus. You can move that up and down just a little bit, just to find a little bit of internal, external rotation to the shoulder, and then drop it into cactus, into your lying down, bound angle. Just let that breathe. And the shoulders relax. Letting the breath soften. Don't force with the fingers, just let them soften and curl. And then just turn the hands back down. Rest them onto your hips, set them counter pose, draw the knees in, give them a little release side to side, just roll them side to side. Hands can turn palm up, ready for a little short rest. Full Shavasana if you want one. Knees can drop in, legs can extend down, and just allow some breath. Tip of the nose right the way down to the low belly. You might even feel it in your toes, your fingertips. Just release, let go. The need to prove, the need to compete, the need to be more than you are. Let yourself just be content where you're at. Let go of the burdens. And just let that breathe. Letting go. Realigning, resetting, recharging. Now you can stay there as long as you need to, at least 5 minutes. Just wake up the body when you're ready to come back. Slow movements, little movements, become bigger when you're ready. Just waking up the body as it needs to. So a little hug, a rock, and just drop that onto your side. And push yourself up, seated position, when you feel ready. Find the breath, find the upright position, sit bones down into the floor. Just allow that to settle. Just close your practice. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring the hands just to rest at the breastbone. Taking gratitude for your own time. Gratitude for your body. Extend my gratitude out to everybody who I know, who I don't know. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you. Enjoy your Sunday.